Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I didn't have a timer on this week, so I'm going to let people trickle into the chat before we start talking about all the winning we've been doing this week, which has been amazing, by the way. Oh, okay. So let's look at what we've got. We've got quite a few things going on. Hey, Banks. Quite a few things going on, Banks. How are you doing? How are things out in Nova Scotia? Hope you're well out there. Are you guys feeling the tyranny out there in Nova Scotia? Is it just as bad as for us in Ontario and Quebec? I always wonder that about the other provinces. But yeah, I hope it's not as bad. I hope we can do some winning for you guys out there over here. Oh, hey, David. How are you? And Tyler and Jackson. So yeah, we'll get started. I was just saying at the start, I wanted to put like a really cool Pearl Jam song to start us out, but of course I'm gonna get a copyright strike, and I'm treading in dangerous territory already just being on YouTube. So I just like put the no countdown, no nothing, just me appearing on screen, which I hate because it's so awkward. Talk to nobody for like the first minute, but anyways, everything I do on here is awkward, so it's not a big deal. Okay. So, oh yeah, Banks, you guys are, yeah, Banks I was asking Banks how are things out in Nova Scotia. It looks like they're pushing the injection very hard out there too. So, oh, Larry, yes, this is the time you catch me live. You normally leave me these really nice messages on my videos after, but I'm really glad that you're live this time. And Stavros, hello from Windsor. Windsor is another hub of tyranny right now. And hello to you as well, Revelations. So, okay, finally, at least, we're doing some winning, guys. So we're going to cover that today. We're going to cover the winning. But to get us there, I'm going to have to subject you to a little bit of Trudeau, because he was just at that climate change thing recently, and he's on his way back now. And I was gonna say, like, Europe, if you guys want to keep him, like, we don't need him back. Like, you could probably send back like a monkey or like a box. You send us back just a box, and that probably would be making better decisions than what Trudeau's doing. It would cost us a hell of a lot less money than what we have now. So anyways, if you wanted to keep Trudeau, but unfortunately I'm pretty sure he boarded the plane. A dude's on his way back here to Ottawa, so we're getting back. But anyways, it's kind of cool to have a Trudeau-free Canada for a few days. So anyways, okay. Christian, hello, you're here today too. Hello, I'm not going to swear tonight. So, oh, you don't have kids, so maybe no, I'm just kidding. I will try not to. I always try not to, but however, we are watching Trudeau tonight, so I will swear Christian. But hello to you. Hello, Melanie. Deborah, oh, the white guy. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're good. I hope it's good out west for you. I hope, like, we were just talking that Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec are up in lost lands at this point. But, you know, still, we've made some good progress this week, which we're going to cover today. So, oh, and Joad is here. Hi, Joad. Yeah, I know, right? We're winning. There's an optimistic title in my video. This is so true, Joad. I normally am so, like, it's depressing. But today, not so depressing. Not so depressing. Hey, Scribbler, I see you in there over there representing on DLive. Crit, you're there on DLive. Hello, Crit. Hope you're well too. So anyways, okay. So today, guys, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to watch Trudeau. So my disclaimer when we have to go through this horror is sorry in advance. We have to watch him because even though he's kind of a dimwit, he still is representing all of us on the national scene and the international scene. Therefore, what he says does have an impact. So, but we're going to kind of laugh a little bit at him today. So at least there's some solace in that. Then I am going to, as usual, take you back to a historical event, which was a moment of bravery. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the White Rose movement in Nazi Germany, which is very similar to what's happening right now with the freedom movement. And I'm just going to go through the story because it's a really inspiring story, and it doesn't end well, so spoiler alert, it's not great, but at least it shows true bravery from very young people. So this is kind of what we are seeing today in our society with this, all the freedom fighters out there, all of you guys. So we're going to look at that, and of course what happened in Ontario and Quebec this week. And it's actually like hot off the press. I just caught this right before I came on live, and I saw this, so we're going to cover that today. Okay, let's get started. So, oh my gosh, the chat is going so fast. I'm sorry guys if I missed anybody. Oh, Diana, you're here. Hi, Diana. And Faye, oh my gosh, Faye, you're here. We're good to start. Okay, I hope I didn't miss anybody, but yeah. Okay, let's get started with Trudeau. So brace yourselves, guys. I have warned you every time we do the Trudeau. And it's going to be audio and visual. So it's like a double whammy of Trudeau-ness, but check this out. Okay. So this is Trudeau, of course. It's on his Twitter. Let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. Oh, yes, there we go. The smart face right there. Boom. Okay. This is his little speech on climate change. You know, he's promising all sorts of stuff to everybody. So we're going to see how he's planning to rob us even more in the next few years. So let's watch this.
The town called Lytton. I say was because on June 30th, it burned to the ground. The day before, the temperature had hit 49 degrees Celsius, the hottest ever recorded in our country. Canada is warming on average twice as quickly as the rest of the world.
Okay, guys, give me a thumbs up or something in the chat if you guys can hear the audio, okay? Because I never know when we played it. I don't want to play its video, and 3 minutes in, I find there's no audio. So, anyways, oh, and here, David, let me pop up your comment here. Oh, wait, not this one, the other one, this one here. The poppy, yes, right here, the poppy on his right here on his. He did a tweet today about the customizable poppy that they just came out with, and talking about the sacrifices the veterans have made. The irony of all of this is that he is taking away the very freedom that the veterans for World War I fought for. It's insane. It's very. It's the same thing, right? So he's taking the freedoms away that we fought for, grandparents, great-grandparents, and he still has the virtue signal and attitude. But that's just Trudeau at this point. We're used to it. We know about it. So, okay. So let's keep going. I think you guys, oh, it's a little low, the volume. Okay, let me adjust that. Hold on. I think I can adjust that. Just give me 1 second here. Let me know if this is a little bit better, okay? Let's see.
And in our north, it's 3 times quicker. The science is clear. We must do more and faster.
Have you guys noticed that that's literally his speech in every single topic ever? The science is clear. We must do more faster. Like, that's the only thing he knows. And I think it's been programmed in to his brain, because he said it for the injections. He said it for the Indigenous communities. He said it for anytime he got caught in some kind of a scandal, he would say, we must do more and faster to address like his scandal, his immorality. So, but he says the same thing every single time. So yeah, the audio of Trudeau isn't low enough. You mean like you would want it muted, eh, Binks? I know, I'm so sorry we're doing this. But okay, let's keep going, guys.
So that's the pledge and the call I bring to this historic meeting.
Oh, historic meeting. Everything is historic because he thinks of himself, like he thinks he's Caesar or something. And he actually believes he's making history. What he doesn't realize is he's making more like a history like Hitler did than a good history, but whatever. Anyways.
The groundwork. In 2015 at the COP in Paris, I committed that Canada would put a price on pollution. We did that.
So price on pollution, that's carbon tax?
And despite stiff political opposition, the Supreme Court upheld it, and Canadians supported it in our last two elections.
So this shows you like how insane this guy really is, in the sense that he says Canadians support it. He doesn't realize, like, I don't know if he doesn't realize or just doesn't care because he's so narcissistic, but not all Canadians voted for this, half of them, right? Just over half. That's it. That means there's a hell of a lot of Canadians out there who don't want to do this, don't want to pay this tax, but whatever.
We know pollution pricing is key to getting emissions down while getting innovation up and running.
So pollution pricing, that's the additional tax that's coming our way, and in sanctions and things like that. And so basically he's talking about how he's going to intensify the blind robbing of Canadian citizens to carry out this agenda. So basically that's what he's saying. This is what he's saying. I will blindly rob the Canadians in a faster way so that we can accommodate this Paris agreement, the Paris Climate Agreement.
Our carbon price trajectory is one of the most globally ambitious ones.
Globally ambitious means he's going to take a hell of a lot from you guys over the next few years, and from us, all of us tax-paying citizens.
And it's rising to $170 a ton in 2030. This is a meaningful price on pollution designed not just to make life cleaner, but also make life more affordable and less expensive.
So more affordable. Like he says this with a straight face. Look at his face. He says, I will take more of your money to make it more affordable for you, with a straight face. And how is the world not laughing at him? Beyond me. Beyond. Anyways.
For Canadians. I call on other countries to do the same. Just as globally we've agreed to a minimum corporate tax, we must work together to ensure it is no longer free to pollute anywhere in the world.
So work together. So, okay, just like we work together to get people threatened to take the jab, that kind of working together, is that the kind of working together we're looking forward to here? Where it's going to be a threat to you? You know, if you don't pay these taxes, you will not be able to renew your car, your license, you know, or your license plates. Is that what working together means? Because we saw what working together means for Trudeau in the rollout of the vaccination. It started with you must get vaccinated. Remember that speech? He said that every day. And then it became, if you don't get vaccinated, you will lose your job. So this is the kind of working together he's talking about. So we've gotten our preview. We know what's coming. So now when he says we're going to work together, it means he is going to start taking things away from you, and as well as threaten you at the same time.
That means establishing a shared minimum standard for pricing pollution. Of course, what's even better than pricing emissions is ensuring that they don't happen in the first place.
What's even better than pricing emissions? Oh, what's even better than just taking Canadian money from the Canadian citizens all the time on a whim because I said so? What's better than that? Well, here's what's better. Don't do it. Don't pollute. Don't pollute in the first place, right? Says the guy, again, ironically standing there, has just flown a jet. And I work with people in the US too sometimes, and people all across Canada. And yet in the last 22 months, or however this lockdown's been going on, I've been able to work remotely. I have not flown once to go anywhere to do my work. I used to, but now lockdown, I am now doing it all remote. So if I can do it remote, like it would have been a kind of a nice idea for him to say this year we're not flying out. We don't need the world leaders to meet together because they cannot meet via Zoom. But no, this is what shows you that they don't care about this. It's about tyranny. It's about future lockdowns. It's about preparing you for that, preparing for more taxes. But it's not about the environment. None of this is about the environment.
brings me to my next major commitment. We'll cap oil and gas sector emissions today and ensure they decrease tomorrow at a pace and scale needed to reach net zero by 2050.
Because Daddy Trudeau knows how to do that, like he's like, he knows everything. So he knows what to cap it at. He knows how to reduce it. Like he knows all of this. He's super scientific and super smart because the budget will balance itself, right? So, I mean, I would have thought based on his kind of like thought process that the emissions would have balanced themselves, but apparently not. No, he knows now for this. He knows what to do. Like, let's all listen to Daddy Trudeau here.
That's no small task for a major oil and gas producing country. It's a big step that's absolutely necessary. To do our part globally, we've doubled our climate financing, including up to $1 billion for the transition away from coal.
So he's either printing money or taking it from us again. So another $1 billion to transition away from coal. Let's keep going.
And to help deal with the consequences of climate change, Canada's making our first contribution to the Adaptation Fund. On doit trouver les solutions.
It's even worse in French, guys. I can't even.
Dans leur vie quotidienne.
I can't.
Uniquement des réseaux
Hold
de
on.
distribution d'électricité, Glasgow doit livrer. Il faut faire front commun.
He's even worse in French. Oh, he's talking
Nous
about.
devons appliquer cette même urgence d'agir contre la crise climatique. How we'll deliver on the promise of Paris with transparency and accountability. To the world's most vulnerable who need us to act, to Indigenous people who can show us the way, to young people marching in our streets in cities around the world.
The people marching in the streets is not the freedom marchers now. He's not talking about that. He's talking about the little Greta army, the climate change people who are going out, blocking like trains and stuff like that. Those guys are totally cool. Like I've got you guys, but don't you dare protest to save your freedoms. Don't you dare. That's not the kind of protest we want in Canada. That's what he means.
We hear you. It's true. Your leaders need to do better. That's why we're here today.
Yeah, so your leaders need to do better. Like he's like bowing to the altar of Greta right there. That's something she would say. You leaders, the world leaders. I can't do impersonations. The world leaders need to do better. You need to do better. This is how she talks, kind of like a perpetual tantrum throwing kid. So he's taking that right out of her books because he doesn't want to be snobbed by Greta. Like it would hurt his ego too much. So he's actually bringing some of her elements into his speech. It's just hilarious to me. I can't believe how much of a loser we have as a prime minister.
What happened in Lytton can and has and will happen anywhere.
Fear-mongering.
How many more signs do we need?
Fear-mongering.
This is our time to step up.
Yeah.
And step up together.
Ugh. Okay. Enough of that. Whew. It's almost like I feel like we need a bit of a detox after we hear Trudeau. If I wasn't on YouTube, I'd probably start playing some kind of like really cool songs. But again, okay. Oh boy, no more comments happening. Have I been cut from YouTube? Okay, no. Okay, good. I got scared for a second because no comments were coming through. Okay, so just to tie off this loop of immorality that we are dealing with, I'm just going to show you that tweet that I was talking to you about. This, if you're a veteran, you're already upset if you're a veteran, but let me just show you right here. This is that tweet that I was talking to you about, right? So it's his latest one, and what he says in there is, "You can honor our veterans who served and sacrificed for our country and freedom." He's laughing in our faces, guys. It's unbelievable. To do that, head over to mypoppy.ca and customize your digital poppy. So anyways, what I don't care about this digital poppy. I'm not a very proud Canadian these days, and I'm upset with the fact that people who are eating away our freedoms, taking away our freedoms, have the audacity to wear the poppy and then virtue signal to us about freedom. So anyways, this is what upsets me, is the first part of his tweet. I don't know why this was necessary. I guess we have a lot of money to throw out in Canada that we can just have like digital poppies now. So anyways, we're super rich and just throw away our money, Justin. So yeah, thanks for that. Anyways, okay. A couple more people joined. I haven't seen you guys. Okay, Colombo. Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. This is my my bars keep going down from green to yellow. So okay, Deborah, Salty Cracker, Colombo, Michelle. Welcome to all you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. No, Faye, I will not show any more Trudeau. We're done. We're done with that guy. There we go. We're done for today. Okay. So what I would like to talk about before we get into the winning part, the really awesome part, is I want to talk about Sophie Scholl. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about Sophie Scholl. She was a German and she was in Nazi Germany. So the reason I want to talk to her, oh my gosh, I wish I could talk to her. The reason I want to talk about her today is because she is was part of one of the movements that, even though didn't manage to get a huge impact initially on Nazi Germany and its demise, it still helped, right? It still helped because it woke up a bunch of people. So Sophie Scholl, she was very, very young, and she went to University of Munich. And what happened to her is she grew up in a really religious family. Let me show you a picture of her. We'll get a picture up. That'll make it so much more pleasant. Hey, Glenn, you're late, but you're okay. It's all good. Happy to have you. We're just bringing up a picture of Sophie Scholl, who is a hero. If you want to talk about like true feminism, like, you know how you have like the virtue signaler together going ma feminism, this would be a good one to use as ma feminism, because this is a legit example of an actual feminist. So here's Sophie right here. This is let me see if we can pull this, make it bigger for you guys. She seemed like she was really fun. This is her. This is another picture right here, a little bit bigger for you guys. One of these guys is her brother. I can't remember, Hans. So, and here's her picture when she was arrested. So, and that's her brother. I believe that's her brother. I can't really tell from that, but and you can tell the date here in 1943. So, okay, so this is her, and she was like most people of her age. She was in the youth groups for Nazi Germany. So her brother was in Hitler Youth, and she herself was in one of the groups, the female Hitler Youth for girls. I don't know. She was in one of those. There's so many. I don't know them all, guys. But okay, so she was actually initially she was kind of neutral on the whole thing, and her dad was very anti-Nazi and anti-Hitler. And actually, there was a quote of her dad. Let's see if I can find dad said about Hitler, because it's pretty clear he didn't like this guy. So let's see, I have it right here. There. There's her dad went to jail for actually saying something against Hitler. So hey guys, if we start going to jail for saying something against Trudeau, we're gonna know that we've reached the highest level of Nazi Germany at that point. So hold on, let me see if I can find this. There was wrong one. I hope it's in Wikipedia. We're just gonna go in Wikipedia and check it out. Okay. Wikipedia wants me to give them money here, guys. Okay. So I don't know if I'll actually find the quote. We have her quote here, which I'll cover with you guys. But yeah, her dad, he got arrested. He said something against Hitler, and he went to jail for a year. And I think Sophie was, because she was his daughter, even though she was a child, she had to work for some kind of a manufacturing job for a summer. That punishment. So, okay, so Sophie, she was basically a student, kind of getting red pilled real fast in 1941, and she was exposed to a lot of her friends who were sent to the front. So they would come back with these horrific stories. So some of the friends would come back and talk to her about how they saw concentration camps. They were sent to fight for the army, and in driving by, they would see people in the woods, horrific things. So she started to hear that, and she was already pro-freedom. She was a philosopher. She was studying philosophy and biology, and she was already of the mindset of someone who likes to think about things and like freedom and ponder things. So her mind in a tyrannical environment did not do so well. Her brother was more, he was railed a little bit slowly. He was initially in Hitler Youth, and initially he was a hardcore Nazi, but he actually realized as he got older that this was definitely not the way Germany should go. And they were actually both concerned about the demise of Germany under the Nazis. So they started this group. The group was called the White Rose. So it's right here. And there's a couple of them, her brother, and a bunch of friends. And what was really cool about their operation is they actually managed to get a typewriter. So if you remember, yes, this is so many minute details, but we're talking in the Nazi series that I did. Remember, there was that year where they made owning a radio and a typewriter illegal. So this was during that time. So already by then, you could not have a typewriter unless it was government approved. So again, just to make a liaison to today, if they take away our internet freedom, whatever the bill is, what's the bill that they're trying to push on us? Bill, is it C10, guys, or no, C22? Oh my gosh, there's so many anti-freedom bills that I'm getting lost in them. Binks, which bill is it? The government trying to limit free speech online. If you know what bill I'm talking about, put that in the chat so that others can know. Because clearly I am a terrible teacher right now. But anyways, okay, so the government trying to reduce the transmission of information or misinformation, that was in Germany. They did it like that already. So no typewriters unless you had it approved by the Nazi Party. And oh, thanks, Edgy. It's Bill C-36. I'm sure Binks was already typing it too. So yeah, Bill C-36, Bill C-10. Oh my gosh, there's so many. 11. Oh yeah, there's so many. So imagine the Nazis did the same thing that the Trudeau government is trying to do to Canadians. So they said the only information you get is information that is approved by the party. So in Canada today, we actually have access to all information. But what the Canadian government is trying to do is they're trying to limit the information that's being shared online because it goes very much against what they're trying to perpetrate. So they cannot push their agenda effectively until all repressed speech that is not along their lines. So that's what Trudeau's trying to do. So Trudeau is following in the steps of any tyrannical regime. Mao has done it in China. Obviously, Stalin did it in Russia. These guys are anti anybody that is writing something that's not from their party, from their ideology. So this is what she had. She scored somewhere a typewriter, an illegal typewriter, to start writing up these pamphlets. And can you imagine? They didn't have a print. So what they would do, she would type them all up and then accumulate them all, and they would do series. So they managed to do 7 pamphlets, but they would go and they would distribute them to students because they were in university. So they would try to red pill students. So these guys were actively trying to do that. And what happened, how they got arrested is, of course, there's a tattletale. There's an idiot somewhere who caught them and snitched on them. So he called the Gestapo and was like, yo, guys. Yeah. And who was it? It was a janitor. Okay, so here's how it went down. So Sophie and her brother and another guy were at the University of Munich, and they were trying to distribute pamphlets. They would put a pile of them, exit of each lecture hall, so that when the other students would come out, they would see that and they could grab some and start red pilling themselves against the Nazis. And Sophie was very impulsive, obviously, to do that kind of braveness in your soul, bravoure. To be brave like that, you have to have kind of a spicy side to you, which she obviously did have. So they had finished distributing all of their suitcases full of the pamphlets, and then she had one more to do. She took a whole stack of them and she went above the amphitheater and she just threw the whole stack and all the papers. But a maintenance guy, a janitor, saw her do that. And he's the one who immediately alerted the Gestapo. Of course, the Gestapo arrested him. And they were put on a mock trial, so it wasn't like they really had a defense mounted. They were just told you're on trial and here's what you're accused of, and they weren't allowed to say anything. I do believe the quote, the only thing she this is the only thing she said at the court. I'm going to read it out to you. So while she's on trial, she said, "Somebody after all had to make a start. What we wrote and said is also believed by many others. They just don't dare express themselves as we did." This is the only thing she ever said at her trial. And this is true today. There are many of us who think the way we do, but a lot of them don't dare express themselves. And this is why some of us, like, I feel I'm able to speak about it because I'm a little bit crazy too, in the sense that I'm more fearless. I don't really, yeah. Anyways, so I talk about this stuff, right? Because I want to preserve our freedoms. And there are a lot of people who feel this way. And when we talk about it, like we do every week here, it helps. It gives the reassurance to people that they're not alone when they're out there. So, you know, I'll start talking, I'll have 5 people in the chat, and then these 5 people will see other people are thinking like them. It's not just me and it's not just them. So it kind of makes everything better. So this is why we do these things. So anyways, this is why I really like her story, because it's similar to what a lot of people are trying to do today. So people who are trying to organize rallies and marches and all that. Okay. So her last words, so basically she of course was found guilty because the Nazis were like that. And she was, I believe she was beheaded, guillotined. So her brother and her were guillotined, and she was 21 when she died. So this is her last words that we know of. How can we expect righteousness to prevail when there is hardly anyone willing to give himself up individually to a righteous cause? It is such a splendid sunny day and I have to go. But how many have died on the battlefield in these days? How many young, promising lives? What does my death matter if by our acts thousands are warned and alerted? Among the student body, there will certainly be a revolt. So she was very hopeful. Unfortunately, there wasn't, because what they had managed to do by that time, Nazis could be, or Nazi sympathizers could be teaching at the schools or the universities, and mostly the students were being brainwashed into the Nazi ideology there anyways. So it's very tough. It's a tough crowd to get in. And this is why it's so important that ideologies do not get pushed onto workplaces. So for example, if we take the injection ideology, when the government was trying to say, everybody, we're mandating this, everybody has to get the jab or else you're going to lose your job. If they were to be successful in that environment, it means only the people who would remain would be the people who are too scared to stand up, so they won't be help anyways, and people that will bow down to government demands. So you would imagine having an entire hospital with only people who go along with the ideology. Imagine how dangerous that would be. No, there's no counter voices ever. So that would mean everybody at that hospital, the government comes in at any time and says, you know what, we think that for the greater good, we are going to need to do euthanasia of all babies born on the 11th. It's for the greater good. We just need this, okay? It's for climate change. Imagine you're left with only people who don't question authority, only people who submit, or people who are too scared to stand up. This is why it's so important that these mandates don't go through. So anyways, okay. One thing that's really cool, I didn't see it in Wikipedia, but I remember reading this years ago when I was learning about Sophie and the White Rose movement. She, so her mom knew that both of her kids were getting executed, which as a mother, I just don't even know how close is that on a good day when I don't have my kids there. I can't even imagine what this mom went through. But she actually said to Sophie she was very proud of her for what she did. So this is a mother who recognized what her kids were fighting for and actually was proud of them to the very end. So this to me is like such a great news. See, I'm getting all emotional because it's the mother thing, right? Anyways, okay, I'm good. So this is such a beautiful story in the sense that these people have the level of braveness. I keep screwing up that word today, guys. Brave, bravo. We need to be brave. We need to be more brave than what we are, right? Because I'm going to show you. This is the perfect transition into what happens when people speak up in today's environment of tyranny. I have a red bar here. Can you guys still see and hear me okay, or is it buffering hardcore now? Yeah, Binks, the guillotine. I'm just going to show, yeah, she was guillotined. And the guillotine, just as a little side note while I'm making sure my bars are getting green instead of red for the internet here. But I think they're getting guillotines again ready for the Vitsky camps. I'm a little concerned about that, guys. So, yeah, my network connection is a little bit horrible right now. So sorry, guys, if this is screwing up on your end. Bravery, yes, thank you, Binks. Whoops. Yeah, I'm jumpy. Okay, guys, give it a minute. We're gonna see if this passes and if I can get my internet back up into the green zone. I'm gonna close off a couple things here, see if that helps. Doesn't help. Oh my. Okay, well, I'm gonna try to keep going, guys, because we're at the good news story. See oh, there we go. I got the yellow bar. See, I closed off the Trudeau Twitter page and all of a sudden I got green bars again. I'm gonna blame for that. Okay, yeah, so hopefully it's a little bit better. I'm gonna try to plow through this while yeah, so before it goes right again. Okay, so the really good news. So this, guys, this is what you're all here for today. We have amazing news coming out of Ontario, and let's see what it is. It is under coronavirus. What is happening in Canada and around the world today? Check this out. So, what is happening? What's going on, guys? Quebec backtracks. Wait, what? Quebec backtrack for the first time since this whole thing started. Amazing. Okay, so let's take a deep breath and digest that one. We're going to look at what that means. And then Ontario not going ahead with the jab mandates for healthcare workers. Wait, what? It's almost like they realize, hey, if we lose 20% of our workforce, we won't be able to help people in the healthcare industry anymore. These stupid idiots, they had to, I don't know what made them ever think this was a good idea in the first place. But so, okay, Ontario not going along with this. So that's good news. And I think all of the protesting that people have done has really paid off. This is one of the scenarios in which it was enough to show the government that people weren't going to go along with this. And we can't stop now. So this is good news, but it means we're starting to win. So we got to take this winning momentum. We got to package it up and inhale it every single day so that you can keep going and fighting for freedom in Canada, because this is the starting point. This is turning around, guys. And I knew this was going to turn around. So it's happening. The Ontario government announced on Wednesday, today, an hour ago, that it will not mandate vaccination for healthcare workers. So they went from mandating it to not mandating it. This is great news. And what we got to watch them. We got to watch the government to say, don't try to mandate this at a different time. Don't come back with this and mandate this again. That was a mistake. We'll forgive you for this time, but don't try this shit again on us. Despite support from the organization representing hospitals, these are basically communist bureaucrats who are paid by the government, so they don't care. They don't care about mandating that stuff. They probably didn't have to get jabbed themselves, these people. So of course they don't give a shit. Okay, science advisors, COVID-19 science advisors. Again, this is a fancy word for a bureaucrat paid by the government. And Quebec backtracked on its plan to do so. In a statement, Ontario Premier Doug Ford pointed to evidence of staff shortages related to vaccine mandates from elsewhere in Canada and said that existing Ontario policies will keep people safe without exposing workers. So basically he's saying we don't need the mandates. Yeah, Doug, that's what you should have done the first time around. That was idiotic and fascistic and tyrannical of you to actually even propose that the first time around. So shame on you. Don't do that again. The impact of the potential departure of tens of thousands of healthcare workers is weighed against the small number of outbreaks. Yeah, and by the way, guys, isn't like almost everybody vaccinated now? Like almost everybody's double jabbed? What is it? 81% according to the government? So if you're all jabbed, what's the problem, right? How can there be an outbreak? Like COVID should be on its way out by now. So yeah, there are no outbreaks. So, okay, having looked at the evidence, our government, they never say what evidence. It would be nice, like when I used to do paper in university and you make a statement, I would have to have like 8 or 9 different bibliographical sources where I had to prove to my professors, where did you get that information from? But these guys, they can just go, having looked at we looked at the evidence, for Trudeau, the science is clear. Well, what science and what's clear about it? Like can we maybe dig into this? Can we just not hear pretty words coming out of your mouth all the time? Can we have some substance to the argument? What evidence? God knows what evidence. Our government has decided to maintain its flexible approach by leaving human resources decisions up to individual hospitals. So again, a big win for freedom. Now the government has backed away. Now I hope the individual hospitals are not stupid enough to go and mandate that. But at least the government has taken a giant step backwards, which is what we need to do. Now we need to start. So basically think of it this way. The government was like literally in your bubble, right? Every aspect of your life. So now we've pushed out the bubble from that one. We've pushed out the government from a little bit out of our bubble. And what we need to do over the next few years is keep pushing the government out until they're so far away that you can't touch them if you send a rocket out to them. And they are not taking the money, climate change money, more taxes, everything. They need less control. They need to back off, and we need to be the ones pushing them off. And we're starting. The push has started. So this is what we're looking at. Ford also raises the issues around surgeries being postponed in BC due to staff shortages. Yeah, because now they're realizing, by making people by putting the fear in people about the COVID, people sat on their cancer, let it go from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, maybe even stage 4. And now they're showing up at the hospital with cancers and everything else. So yeah, this is a problem. If you keep messing up, they've done nothing good during this pandemic, this government. So their surgeries being postponed in BC due to staff shortages. Yeah, you don't say. And of course, be in any industry, any industry that has to mandate this vaccination. And let me just say, before I keep going down this article of awesome news for us, the reason you cannot let the government force something onto you, on your body, it's so important, because if we allow this now, this will be the complete loss of our freedom. The last frontier is your body and your mind. The government's already trying to take control of your mind via propaganda. I think they're probably trying to work through microchips and things like that actually take over your mind. But then after that is your body. So if you give up your mind and you give up your body, there is nothing else left. As an individual, you are done. You become part of the government plan. And that is the true danger of all of these mandates. The mandating an injection into a body means that in the future, when the government deems it necessary, and you don't need to know what the evidence is, you don't need to know what's in the jab, you don't need to know anything. You need to shut up and take the injection, because will tell you it's mandatory. You have to. So imagine if that was a scenario, because now we've allowed them. In the future, they can come at us with anything they want. Absolutely anything. They could come with microchips, come with absolutely everything. They can come back their eugenics, like Nazi style, saying, okay, well, we don't think that people who have mental deficiencies should be allowed to get pregnant. And therefore, boom, it's a law now. We own your body, and we can make sure that you don't get pregnant, right? This is where the true danger lies. I've said this many times before, and I kind of touched on it when if you have only people left in the hospitals, apply that to incidents at all that are fully going along with the government mandates. That's the true danger. The government now owns you, your body, your mind, and you have nothing left. You have nothing left. So, okay, that was my little diversion into why it's critically important that we never allow the government to be allowed to inject anything into our body. Okay, so ahead of today's decision, the Ontario Hospital Association wrote to Ford in support of a province-wide mandate. So again, these guys are the bureaucrats, the commie bureaucrats. So the Ontario Nurses Association also wrote to Ford saying the current policy on unvaccinated workers to be tested is reasonable. So at least the nurses be a little bit more reasonable. And they're citing concerns about worker shortages. Of course you are, right? The nurses know what's going to happen. So imagine these scenarios where you watch 4 or 5 of your colleagues from your department go. Well, who do you think is going to do the work now? Right? Who's gonna, right? You're gonna do it. You, the ones left behind, the ones who were the compliant ones, you're gonna be used harder by your treacherous government. Of course, they're not gonna give you more money, nothing. They're just gonna say, look, this is a pandemic. You got to do this. So this is what's happening. The nurses know, and they don't want all of their colleagues to leave. Same for the doctors, same for the surgeons. Can you imagine how it would be to train a surgeon? It's not like you can go at the end of your street, you go on King Street, you're like, all right, so we lost 4 of our surgeons in our hospital, but we're going to make a kiosk here, and we're going to call for, like, do a work fair to find a surgeon. Like, so come on, guys. We're surgeons, anybody? Nobody? Oh, it's a highly specialized, trained profession. Yeah. How is it that the government didn't see this before? How is it that, I don't know. This is why the government is idiotic at best. On a good day, the government is just idiot in their decisions. Okay, following that announcement, the Ontario Hospital Association expressed disappointment with the decision. You guys wanted to force vaccinate your nurses and doctors? You're disappointed that we can't violate their body autonomy? Freaking hell. Okay. Vaccines provide the highest level of protection against the disease. But wait, isn't it just like 30% effective now against the COVID-ski, right? Isn't it declining? Why are the boosters then? Right? If the vaccine was so great, didn't you tell us that we could get 75% vaccinated to return to normal? Well, that was a lie. Okay. The Public Hospitals Act already requires hospitals to have communicable disease policies in place, requiring immunity for 17 conditions, blah, blah, blah. And he said in a statement, okay, the difference is these truly are vaccines. They are vaccines. They have, 30 years proof, 30 years of historical data we can look upon to see. So much less scary. I have all of these, actually, by the way. I don't have tuberculosis, but I have a lot of vaccinations myself. Okay, COVID-19 should be treated no differently. So the PCR tests were faulty. The World Health Organization and what's it, the American one, they came out saying we can't use the PCR test anymore because it can't differentiate between COVID-ski and the flu, but we're going to keep using them until December this year, right? Remember that? We're going to use them. So why it should be treated differently? We have an overblown situation of the flu. It's ridiculous. We know this now. It's been proven. It's so ridiculous. Okay. So a moral imperative to take every precaution possible to prevent the spread. So see, now they've put on the healthcare workers as a moral imperative. But remember, when this whole thing started, Trudeau and the Canadian government did not have any moral imperative to take every precaution possible by potentially not allowing flights from China into Canada. Nah, that they don't have a moral imperative. They put the moral imperative is on you, because this is brainwashing, guys. This is a brainwashing sentence. Healthcare workers have a moral imperative to take this is brainwashing 101. This is Stalin talking to you. In Quebec, let's turn to over there. Health Minister Dude Guy said the province is canceling the vaccine mandate for current healthcare workers. The move just came weeks after he gave a 1-month extension up to November 15th, calling it non-negotiable at the time. So they tried to go full tyranny on Quebecers. Quebecers didn't like that at all. Quebecers are supposed to be free-loving people, and I'm not surprised that didn't fly. I'm surprised you guys in Quebec allowed the curfews to happen. I don't know why, but at a briefing on Wednesday, this Dude Guy, health minister, said that about 14,000 healthcare workers have yet to get a first dose. Oh, goodness. So to deprive ourselves of 8,000 workers would have a devastating consequence for all of our network. So see, huge win. You stand your ground. You put your foot down. You stand up for what you believe in. And look, the government backs away, guys. This is a huge win. We can do this. We need to keep this. Like I said, package this up, smoke that little thing of freedom every single day, and we're going to push the government out as much as we can. So vaccination no longer mandatory, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, oh goodness. So here's more propaganda down here, guys. Why Canadian parents should get the kids? Get the kids jabbed. Oh my good Lord. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be for another stream, guys. I'm not getting into that today. I'm going to get way too passionate. I might have to do that stream in like DLive or maybe even Rumble, because I don't think YouTube's going to tolerate me too long with that. So anyways, okay, so that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. I hope you like the Sophie Scholl story. Go read up on her and what her and her brother did for fighting Nazi Germany. We have to inspire ourselves from that. Keep fighting, stand your ground. We are winning. It's turning around, and we got to keep pushing now. So let's go for the restaurants next and that stupid vax passport. That should be our next step. So anyways, okay. Thank you so much for joining. I love you all, and I will see you all in the next stream. Have a really good